Hello everybody, welcome back to another stream. I apologize I couldn't make it yesterday, had a lot of work I had to get done. Still unfortunately didn't finish it all, spent most of the day focusing on that today. But hey, we're just pounding out as much of it as we can. I still got a couple of days to complete it. Might have to do that tomorrow, to be honest with you. We'll see how it goes. But well, we're here to play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Let's have some fun with that, shall we? We're now in, we're now in Act 3. You know what that means? Things are going to get tougher. We're going to be fighting a lot more bigger creatures. And probably for most of the stream tonight, we're going to be talking to a lot of people and going through a lot of dialogue. I hope you're prepared. I know I am. Not really, but we'll see. I will find out now. Let's do it to it. As we load up the game. Which is really slow to load for some reason. There it goes. Yeah, a GOG had to open. That's why. There we go. There we go. Alright, you should all see it now. So, it's been a bit of a crazy week for me. Well, I got a new job, which may or may not take over a lot of my time, at least for the next couple of weeks. We shall see. But we're going to try and maintain a schedule as best as possible. I might have to cut a day or two out for the short term, but long term should be easy, should be good. We're going to find out together. In the meantime, though, let's continue. So, as I said, we are now in Act 3. Act 3 is when the game really starts to take shape. We now have our mythic powers. And the party is getting stronger by each battle. And it's not gonna slow down anytime soon, I'll tell you that much. So we got a lot to take care of. I'm hoping we're able to get through some of it. So it's, excuse me, it's me and Ivu together. We do have Wilser we talked to. We have the exotic weapons guy. We haven't talked to the blacksmith. Blacksmith has a lot of the basic weapons for us, so nothing too crazy here. Got a couple of good ones. Touch of Flaw is a +3 axe. That's pretty damn good. +3 axe lands a hit on enemy. They must do a reflex saving throw or suffer a -1 penalty to attack rolls until the end of combat. And it's a stacking penalty. Oof. That's fucking good. Our current weapon, actually, it's a +2 battle axe. That does Constitution ability damage with Fortitude saving throws. Solid, for sure. Solid for sure. I think we can actually sell Lethal Squall, though. I don't know. There's a lot that we can consider and do here. Maybe we'll go back. So let's check out the map. That leads into the Citadel itself. We have a Jewelry and Arcane Weaver over here. Dayran, a house, and Camellia. So let's go here first. Check out the traders. Free loot. Okay. Okay, what do we got? Enlivening leadership. Enlivening leadership. Grants the wearer a competence bonus on persuasion checks. And grants their companions a morale. Well, that's actually pretty solid. +5 armor bracelets. Bracers. Ooh. Woohoo! 3 months! Yes, Gumstitch! Hello! And congratulations on being subscribed at 3 months now in a row. How you doing, by the way? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Ooh, that's pretty good. We got the ring. Goggles of Pure Sight. Take a 20 on a Dispel Magic attempt once a day. +1 bonus caster level checks there. Doing okay. Had a nice weekend working from home today. How are you? I am good. Well, I got a new job. Again. So, that's a thing. But I'm doing good. And I've been spending the past day basically doing a ton of recording for this said job. Which I had to do. And it's been worth it, you know, been getting stuff done. So that's a jewelry trader. Where's the other one? Where is it? Oh, the Arcane Weaver, there we go. Source of Dividing Power. Where this robe uses a divine power to summon a creature, they choose to give the creature's holy or unholy special quality. Oh, that's pretty solid. That actually might be useful for us. Celestial Protection. +5 resistance bonus on saving throws against demons. Ooh, again, really good. Oh, these are all fucking good, and I can't really afford everything. It's too much money. Like real life. Living Flame's pretty interesting. The Pelt Cloak's an immunity to fire. That's really solid as well. And, of course, we got scrolls up the wazoo. We could sell these. You can also learn some scrolls. Let's see what you can get. The Abjuration, we want to avoid. Same thing with Necromancy. Transmutation, though. Oh, Stinking Cloud, easily. Dimension Door. And Dimension Door, and let's go. Confusion could fuck us up, though. That's the problem. We'll just take these two scrolls. Dragon's Breath. That's also a choice. And Summon Monster, obviously. Monster Lizards, Wolves, and Dire Wolf. Interesting choices. And Polymorph. Ice Strike. Cloak of Dreams. Ooh, fancy, fancy, fancy. We'll be here a lot, this merchant, I think. Disintegrate, there you go. That's going to be a big one, too. Alright. So, Nenio, why are you constantly dressed like that? I don't know. I think it's a bug. Yeah, it's a bug. Oh well. She's been like that for a while. Let's give her some spells. There we go. And yeah, throw an invisibility on there. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. You're affected by this too. What the fuck? Well, I hope they fix that. I'm sure they will eventually. Alright. Yeah, take a scroll. So, let's see if we can find people to talk to now. I think we can. Yeah, there's Dayron. Somewhere here. There he is. You know what? Dayron asks, not bothering to greet you properly. I've noticed a certain cyclical pattern in my life ever since I met you. First, something happens that leaves me positively intrigued. Then I descend into the depths of fear and anger. Then I start to think it's not so bad. The curiosity comes back, and then something even more dreadful occurs. The demons attacking my home and the city around it was unpleasant enough already, but I thought I could compensate for that by striking up a curious acquaintance and having some new experiences. Then my dearest cousin threw me right into the middle of a crusade, And just when I started to see some positives in my current situation, the gargoyles kidnapped me. The slaughter in Dresden following my triumphant rescue effectively put out every spark of optimism that I had managed to gather. Now the city is in our hands again, and it's getting more and more tolerable to stay here. I feel surprisingly good, and I'm even beginning to find the city rather enjoyable. This brings me to one very reasonable question to my mind. What is the next outrageous and dangerous mess you're going to pull me into? We could even draw attention to how verbose he is. I have challenges in store just for you. Does that list include the ordeal known as the Trial of the Cold Oatmeal? If not, then there's nothing to be afraid of. And if you think I've just shown you my weak spot, then you're wrong. It was deliberate misinformation. Alright, well, he's happy to be here. And we are getting to him bit by bit. Peasants up the wazoo. Ah, Camellia! There you are. And you have nothing new to say. Alright, you're useless. Well, you're not useless, but you are Camellia. We have to tolerate you. That's the problem. Maybe not for long. We'll see. It gets a little complicated going forward, obviously. Night of the Witch. I read that. I believe that's a Twilight story. I don't think it's a Twilight story at all. Let's see. Down here. Let's talk to Lan. Maybe Lan has something to say. There's just peasants and nobles hanging out all over the place. Lan has nothing to say. Okay. I was kind of hoping that my companions would actually say shit now that we have a fucking city. But I guess not. Maybe they're gun shy. I don't know. I was hoping for a little more there. People fighting? Oh, they're training. Oh, the fucking Triceratops is still here. That's kind of funny. Hey, Sela. Alright, she has nothing new either. Let's check the barracks. Are the troops in proper order, Elon? Actually, we should talk to Elon. Nope, he doesn't have anything to say. Elon's cool, though.
There are many roads to success.
I'm glad he's still here. We do have a lot of people that we're going to have to talk to, obviously, but, you know, the goal in the end, well, is to start prepping for the next set of quests, one of which we probably should take care of as quickly as possible, and that is the quest for the dragon. Yeah, we're going to fight a dragon soon, Gumstitch. That's going to be really fun and deadly and probably murder us constantly. That would be our luck now, wouldn't it? But we'll see. Okay, so they don't have anything. Let's try Outer Chalet, who we have not spoken to. That actually should be one we talk to. We have not spoken to her yet.
I will guide.
Let's see, where is she? There she is. Arushale's ruby eyes stare watchfully at passers-by, who don't notice her even at arm's length. She turns to you, her face a mixture of contemplation, sadness, and admiration. They're amazing, aren't they? I have so many questions. So, what are you doing here? I'm watching. She nods at the city dwellers as they hurry past. I'm listening to their conversations, studying their faces. I'm trying to understand what they truly are. Why do you like to watch people? You know, in my old life, I thought I knew everything about them. I was a master of seduction, after all. I knew how to tempt a mortal into doing anything I required. I could trap them in a lie, or lie myself and never get caught. It's disgusting to remember, but that was my life for many centuries. Now I see I knew nothing. A demon warrior probably also considers himself an expert on mortals because he's killed so many of them. He certainly knows where to thrust the spear for a quick death, and where to thrust it for a long and painful one. And he thinks that's enough. My knowledge was of the same kind. I ruined many mortals without learning the first thing about them. Now I watch them to understand them. This won't give my victims back their lives, of course, but still, by growing closer to these mortals, it's like I'm paying back some part of my debt to my victims' memories. What have you learned about mortals, then? They love cats! Arushale speaks in a very serious manner, as if sharing an important scientific discovery with you. But then a moment later, she smiles to give the joke away. Seriously, anything? I wouldn't want to draw any rash conclusions. I've only been watching them for a short while, but I think I have understood one thing. The succubi have a saying, mortals always lie. If a mortal isn't talking, it means she's busy lying to herself. But now I see this isn't true. You mortals aren't liars, you're dreamers. Each of you creates a huge daydream of yourself, and everyone you share your life with. It isn't exactly a lie, because the daydream is your truth. You are being a little creepy, aren't you? What? Succubus blinks, surprised. Really? Why, I don't mean any harm. I know. But forgive me if I don't have any answers any further. So, So, we are being attacked by demons with weird powers. Do you know anything about that? Arushale thinks for a long while. Finally, she answers hesitantly. Well, back in Alushinra, there were rumors about terrible experiments that Baphomet and Daskari performed on their troops to make them stronger. Here on the material plane, these rumors were embellished with lots of details. Some say the demons undergo rituals acquired from Zon-Kathan. Others say they feed on the blood of angels or Quilpoths or demon lords. Still, others say that there are no experiments and Baphomet is just bringing back fighters from the future. A future in which the demons have already taken all of Galarian. Is there a grain of truth in any of these ramblings? There's no way to know. Naturally, none of these rumors give any indication of where the demons come from. I'm sorry I can't help. The only thing that's clear is that the lowly fighters in the army of the Abyss are as puzzled by this as we are. Alright, what about you then, Arushale? I'm afraid you won't like what I'm going to tell you. I have many questions. Where do succubi actually come from? Did you actually have a childhood? No. Well, yes, but in brief, the Abyss is nothing like the mortal world. Arushale makes a gesture in the air, trying to find the right words. You remember life since conception. No, wait, you don't remember that part, do you? But certainly you know everything since birth. We do not. Normally, when a human dies, the Lady of Graves decides which plane they go to. Most often, those who arrive in the abyss turn into larvae. The little worms no one notices until you step on them. They crawl in the mud for centuries, devouring each other, and the strongest ones turn into demons. I don't know how that transformation happens. Maybe we hatch out of them like caterpillars out of butterflies. No, wait, it's the other way around. Or maybe greater demons sculpt us out of them, like so much clay? I don't know what happened to the larvae that they used to make me. And my own memory, it begins with vague, fragmentary images. Terrors, executions, orgies. I remember some poor lad, half gnawed by the larvae. He was crying and begging to be killed, and I pointed at him and laughed, and said I wouldn't. Desna, forgive me, I'm so ashamed. I like that description. It's, that's certainly a choice. I mean, we are basically dealing with a succubus that is turning good. How'd you end up turning against the abyss, actually? Temptation! Arushale smiles sadly. Strange, isn't it? So many people believe that being good is important, but it's boring and unpleasant. And all that's enjoyable and tempting pertains to evil. Even the servants of kind gods often think so, do they not? You have no idea how easy that makes the whole role of a temptress. Well, it was my great fortune to discover that it's not always like that. My last... Arushale looks away. My last victim was a priestess of Desna, the tender of dreams. As you know, demons do not sleep. Mortals always compare their greatest moments to dreams. So I decided it would be interesting to see for myself, and while I was at it, forgive me, goddess, to mock Desna. The priestess lay in my arms, dying of my kiss. I remember every smallest detail. The cold sweat on her skin, her eyes rolled back into her head, her weak whisper. It's so difficult to recount. Well, I dove into her mind to see what mortal dreams were like, but the goddess saw me in her realm, and it turned out I remained there far longer than I planned. What did Desna actually do to you? As a punishment, she gave me mercy. I often think, why me? She could easily have blown me away like smoke, with the flick of her finger. The gods rarely trouble themselves with the lives of mortals, even less so with demons. But for reasons of her own, she paid me special attention. She awoke in me the memories of the sinners whose souls were used to create me. All those humans, I knew nothing of them until Desna showed me. Each of them had their own dreams, and a world without pity trampled each of them and placed them on a path that led to the abyss. Their memories, all their hopes and pain. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to talk about this. You see tears well up in the succubus's eyes. Arushale wipes away her tears and continues. The most important thing I realized was that every mortal is a little world of hopes and dreams. And that although I might be a succubus, I didn't have to live forever with those beastly boring pleasures and tortures of the abyss. I can be free. I can be myself. If only I can understand who I am. You don't know who you are, then. What of you? Do you know who you are? Are there many mortals who can make that claim? Before returning me to the mortal realm, Desna whispered something to me. I can still hear her words. She asked me, And what do you dream of? And I don't know. I still don't. You see, demons are simple creatures. Arushale purses her lips. Each is guided by 2 or 3 strong sins. Before my conversion, my sins were all that I was. A ball of desire without anyone behind them doing the desiring. Desires for sex, for flattery, and food. But now I have me and it's amazing, but it's so complicated. Arushale makes an apologetic gesture and smiles. Well, what did you do after Desna converted you then? I mean, I traveled. In the beginning, I thought it was wise to keep away from the demons and their temptations. Run off to Absalon, or perhaps even further to another plane. But then I realized I didn't deserve freedom yet. The abyss was still in me. It called to me, tempting me, seducing me. If I ran away, I would soon return to my old habits. Arushale forces the word from her mouth. This is why I came here, to join the war, to remember who my enemy is, to defeat the demons, not just for the mortal world, but for myself as well. Because if I don't kill my past, it will always be reaching for me. I'm a wonderful liar. I'm no longer proud of it, but it's still true. The demons never suspected my treason until the very end. I lived as a spy, and regularly reported back to the priests of Desna whatever I learned. Naturally, I concealed my identity from them as well. I would never have been caught, but when I learned that Dascari was planning to attack on Canabras, there was no time for caution. I risked everything to warn you, and paid with my freedom. Now that's interesting. How do we even... How do we, talk about this? No, we'll stay good. Thanks for running from evil, but not confronting it. Yes, I'm glad I did, but you know it's hard. Evil calls me back. Every day. And when it's so close, what if one day I grow tired of fighting? I hope not, because we need you, Arushale. Chaos rules all. Good is dumb. Sorry, Phantom Pyro, we're going good with Arushale, at least a little bit. Maybe we'll go a little bit more chaos going forward. So, do you worship Desna now? The goddess did a lot for me, more than I ever deserved. Asking anything more of her would be imprudent. I'm grateful for her, but I try not to trouble her with my prayers. Tell me about life in the Abyss. I can't tell you about all of the Abyss. I've only seen a small part. If you'd like, I can tell you about the Midnight Isles of Alushinra. And I hope I'm saying that right. I doubt it, though. So, tell me about Midnight Isles. In the ocean of Ishir, not far from the mouth of the river Styx, there's a chain of islands. This is the realm of Natakula, the queen of the succubi. There's no sun there, only a moonlit night, alternating with a moonless one. Each of the islands is one of Natakula's trophies, the remains of a powerful entity that perished at her hands. As you see, you cannot take a step in the abyss without treading on corpses. Can you tell me about Natakula? Well, she's called the Lady in Shadow. They say that she was the first succubus. She's far from the most powerful of the demon lords, but this hasn't kept her from being the ruin of many creatures significantly more powerful than herself, even building her kingdom upon their bones. They say that, like Lamashtu, she strives to turn herself from a demon lord into a true goddess. She enjoys killing, but her favorite tools are seduction and deception. She only stoops to crude violence when there's no other games to play, and even then she backstabs from the shadows. Her favorite weapon is a crossbow, though a silk garrote would suit her better. If you should meet her, do not believe a word she says, and do not fall for her provocations. Do not try to beat her at her own game. And most importantly, remember, the worst mistake anyone can make is to underestimate her. What about Alashinra? The Porphyry City is Nocticula's capital. There's no city like it in the mortal world. Absalon is a village in comparison. Millions, I don't exaggerate, millions of demons and mortals live there. Some come voluntarily, not only from Galarian, but from other planes as well. Nocticula keeps an open boundary. She enjoys having many guests, merchants, and travelers in the city. Some arrive in chains. The slave trade is the almost thriving business in the city. From afar, the city may seem a merry place. Many of its dwellers do enjoy themselves until they're turned to become someone else's toy. It's a city of suffering, Sherbigera, of cheerful, festive torments that everyone in the city inflicts on those around them. What he can do in this city? It sounds like Mardi Gras. The heart of the business quarter is the flesh markets, where the slave trade takes place. I grew up in the mansion of Lady Alexia. Her house is always full of guests, doing their best to entertain her. Those whose performances is not to her liking risk remaining in their house forever. The main attraction of the Succubi city is, of course, the brothels, the 10,000 delights. I need not tell you what they offer. If you can imagine it, someone is selling it. Not far from there, you can find the Harem of Ardent Dreams, which serves as a sort of city hall. Shamira, Nocticula's right hand, and the mayor of Shamira, receives her visitors there. For those who prefer bloodier sport, there are many arenas in the city. The most famous is the Battle Bliss. Battles run continuously without breaks and without rules. It doesn't matter what trickery you use to win. It only matters how much fun the crowd is having. And above it all are the towers of the House of Silken Shadows, Nocticula's palace. Hundreds, thousands of towers and domes adorned with jewels. There are legends of what happens inside. Many have striven to experience the lights of the Succubi Queen's palace, forgetting that it was built for her pleasure, not theirs. Well, doesn't that sound like a place that we really should visit? Probably not. We'll be dead there. Thanks for the information, though. I gotta ask a personal question. The kind of question a mortal might ask a succubus. We're really going here, are we, game? Oh, boy. You want to talk about sex? Arushale looks you in the eye. Ask me anything. I will not keep secrets from you. But don't expect to hear anything lighthearted or pleasant. Well, the kiss of a succubi is deadly, isn't it? Not just the kiss. Any caress of any kind sucks the life from mortals, and there's nothing I can do about it. Arushale touches her lips ever so slightly. For mortals, tenderness is tenderness, and violence is violence. But I don't know what it's like to kiss and not inflict pain. You're basically Rogue from the X-Men. That's fucking wonderful. I just hope my observation of mortals will help me understand young lovers, old spouses, even what mortals condemn as promiscuity. To me, it all looks like something amazingly human. Wait, you mean you don't just watch people during the day out in the street? Well, I never touch anyone. I never harm anyone. I just watch and listen. Is that bad? Phantom Pyro, you want a chaotic answer? Give the chaotic answer. It's not bad, just don't get caught. I can promise you that. Succubus smiles. Alright, might as well just ask it. What's sex between demons like? Your game, I know. Anything demons do is sort of cannibalism. Each devours mortals and other demons in their own way. Some enjoy literally tearing off pieces of flesh with their teeth. Others like to subdue and turn their prey into slaves and living tools. Some feed on others' humiliation. It comes in different forms, but the essence is always the same. Another being is an object to be used for your own pleasure. Demon sex doesn't differ from any other type of violence. In my former life, it was something I did to others, or others did to me. Only one person ever received pleasure, not the other. Well, that's implying a whole lot there that's, nasty. Do you still feel desire? Arushale keeps a long silence as she searches for the right words. You see, on the one hand, my succubus nature remains with me. The desire I feel is the one from my old life. When I look at any mortal, I immediately imagine how she looks away. But that feeling, that desire, it's not what mortals feel. When you like someone, you don't ponder how good it would feel to drink their soul, do you? You think about how good it would feel to be together. Together, you see? You know how to want someone, and at the same time, not want to destroy them. For me, it's always one and the same. True despair rings in Arushale's voice. I'm not even talking about love. Just the common mutual affection of mortals. When they're not poisoned with violence. Now I know that I've never felt it, and it's hard to imagine how it's even possible. Thank you for being open. So, what do you think about the powers I gave you? It's a great temptation. I don't know if I should be trusted with such power. I certainly wouldn't trust myself with it. When you have so much power, it's easy to decide you're a god and the mortals are your toys. Perhaps I should wait until after we defeat the forces of the Abyss. But that's precisely what these powers are for. She thinks for a moment, then speaks softly. You take a great risk. I'm not sure I can handle the temptation. It's hard enough as it is. If you don't catch what she's actually saying there, and if you actually look at Arushale's stats as a character, yes, she's getting the Mythic Path treatment as well, but her general stats are off the charts for most of her abilities. Now, because she's a succubus, this makes her effectively a very powerful being in comparison to the rest of the party. But it also has its own drawbacks. Obviously, her strength and wisdom are pretty low. Wisdom is pretty bad. Her will score is really bad in comparison to other characters, which we will need to buff up. But that's a whole other conversation. Let's go. Who are you? Oh, we have somebody new. A woman in gold-embroidered cleric's robes greets you with a polite bow. Her eyes, the color of molten gold, gleam brightly on her dusky face. Greetings, Commander. My name is Arsino. I am a messenger from the Temple of Abadar in Absalon, and I came here assuming the defenders of the fortress could use the services of a cleric. Oh, we got a lot of questions. What services do you actually provide? I can sell you various divine spell scrolls. If you don't have anyone in your party who can read them, I'll be happy to read it for you right here. However, take care out of your travels. A scroll is useless without someone who can read it. To use a scroll while you're on the move, you'll need a spellcaster whose magical training covers such spells, or someone skilled in magical devices. Thank you for explaining how the game works. Can you explain the wound on my chest? Arizona quickly probes you with the skill of an experienced healer. So, the wound was right here, and then it disappeared and reappeared. Amazing. No, this is the first time I've ever heard of such magic. What do you think it might be, then? I think it is some kind of demonic corruption, or particles of chaos from the abyss have entered through the wound into your body and made it so unstable. It sounds quite interesting, incidentally. Judging from the records of researchers of the abyss, stranger things have happened in this cursed place. How do we heal it, then? I am sure that you have already used the purification and chaos warding spells, and for obvious reasons, you do not have the option of leaving the campaign and going on a long pilgrimage to various shrines. Since that's the case, I'd keep a diary. Make careful and systematic entries about your well-being. If it gets worse, record the circumstances under which it happens. I'm afraid this is the only advice I can offer right now. How'd you end up in Dresden? My story has grown longer and longer over the years, yet sadly never gets any more interesting. I was born and raised in Absalom. Soon I realized that bringing the world of Abadar to places where it's already been heard was too easy of a challenge for a cleric like me. I have traveled all across Galarian since then, watching civilization bring enlightenment to the wildest of places. This brings joy to my heart and makes me feel like I serve my God with my deeds and not only with my words. The tiny barony in the stolen lands that has been my home for a very long time eventually turned into a strong and prosperous kingdom. See Pathfinder Kingmaker, everybody. And I felt that I had to go somewhere else and bring the blessings of Abadar to someone who really needed it. It will take quite a long time for Dresden to recover and become an unflailing stronghold once again. I will do my very best to help. Arsinoe here is actually a character from Kingmaker who kind of served as the same role. So she's a returning character. I see you have consecrated the altar of Abadar. So I have. And before you ask me why I did this, when there is a temple of Iomedae in Dresden, I will answer. Even though my god is the ally of the Inheritor, some still prefer to pray and trust in Abadar instead of her. After all, my humble altar is no worse at removing the corruption of the Abyss than the grandiose Oracle Temple of Iomedae. Yeah, it makes sense. And you are an Asimar, yeah? Oh, yes, I am an Asimar. Hard to miss, isn't it? I look exactly like my great-great-grandmother, but I am the only one among my kin to have Asimar blood manifest so visibly in my appearance. I have to admit that it is very fortunate coincidence. My Asimar features are rather appealing and make people trust me more easily. This is a good quality to have for a priestess wishing to gather a congregation. Tell me about Abadar. Why not? I'd be delighted to. Abadar is the patron deity of law, trade, and prosperity of cities. He teaches that law and order allow civilization to develop and keep people safe and wealthy. Iomedae and Abadar are allies, since Iomedae also holds the order and nobility above all else. It's hardly surprising to see so many mighty fortresses and wonderful cities in Mendev bloom under her blessing. A lot of backstory. What can you do as a helper? What do you got? Raise dead scrolls. We should probably pick up a couple of these. What can we sell? Get rid of the grease. Get rid of the glitter dust. Protection from law. Protection from good. A lot of protections from good. The raise. Remove disease will keep. Remove sickness. That doesn't really help us anymore. Sound burst will keep. Snowballs are just extra attack spells. They're kind of useless. Summon monster 1, no. Summon monster 2, maybe. Nature's ally, get rid of. You have 2 pit spells. Level 2 and level 2. Blaze of Disaster. Honestly, we're not going to use that. You can have that too. Let's see. Potions. What can we junk? Magical Vestment. Reduce person. Actually, keep the invisibility. Shield of Faith potion when we can knock out. This one's a better Shield of Faith potion. Restoration, remove sickness again. Paralysis, keep. Delay poison, maybe keep. Bless weapon, keep. Enlarge, keep. Feather step, can go. Haste will keep. Heroism, keep. Cat grace, all those keep. Small water element will get rid of. Unbreakable heart, get rid of. Fire element will get rid of. Dogs will be useless too. We're just like starting to clean out our repertoire here. Long Strider scrolls. Kind of useless. Get rid of. Holy Sword could be useful. Heal scrolls are very useful. The harm scroll is touch range. 10 points of damage per caster level, which is pretty bad. That could be good. Get rid of the blindness. Actually, keep the blindness. Bless. Alright. Extra money. We do probably want that Raise Dead scroll, even though it's expensive. We probably want multiple Raise Dead scrolls. Headbands of Alluring Charisma, Meta Magic Rods, Coin of Protection. We've seen that previously. Scroll of Holy Smite? Maybe. We have 3 Alchemist kits. We do need the 4th. Because we are up to 4 for the Scroll Scriber kits. Oh, does she have any recipes? Maybe we should check that too. She has first aid kits, which we got plenty of. She has wands. Oh, she has a lot of stuff, actually. Holy shit. Oh, she's inherited the inventory of the other guy. Half of the... What the fuck? Whenever 2 creatures wearing different halves of this pendant are within 10 feet of each other, they get a +2 circumstance bonus. Ooh. That's pretty good. Burned Ashwood. Burning Arc spell at level 5. Drinking on stream. What will the children think? I don't think the children are watching. At least I hope they aren't. Another Pyromania ring. Deals fire damage through a spell. They deal additional d6 plus 5 fire damage and get +2 bonuses to caster levels. Ooh, that's really good. That's really, really good. Battle Mage's Headband. Intelligence +2, +2 enhancement bonus to Charisma. Whenever the wearer of this headband lands a killing blow with a melee weapon, their next spell becomes empowered. Ooh. The problem, though, is, well, the only one that can wear that would be Woljif. And he's not around, so we'll save that for later. Oh, here we go. Headband of mental form, mental might, mental flow. Intelligence and charisma. Ability scores, intelligence and wisdom and charisma. The wisdom and charisma was perfect for Sociel or Dayron. What is Sociel wearing? Wisdom. We eventually have to pick up those. For now, though, I'm sticking to my original plan. Ray's dead. We'll take 2 scrolls. So we have it. Let's go in the temple, too. Is there anybody else to talk to here? Well, sanctified. It can protect the area around it from corruption from the abyss. That's good. But that's a book. I do like books. That's a chest that we can't open. Huh. Alright, we can't open that one. Another book. Again, I do like books. The Acts of Iomade. And another chest that we can't open. What the fuck is it with these chests? Those were not there before. Can't open yet. I mean, well, the problem is I don't have any lockpick skill. So I'm not going to be able to. Unless if I give myself lockpick skill, but that would be probably giving me too many skills at once. To be honest with you. I guess it's something we can do. We'll consider it. We are coming up to about an hour, so I do want to take a quick break here. Allow me to use the bathroom as well as... Well, we should save the game here. Use the bathroom as well as continue on where we talk with all the people in the town. We do need to make our way to this side of things. Obviously, we have folks that we do need to talk to. But the big thing is we have to get to the taverns and the inns. And then eventually the prison, which is going to be a whole other conversation. But let's get over here first. We'll briefly speak with what's-her-face, with Ember, to see if she says anything. I somehow have a feeling she won't. Because so far the only one that's really said anything is Dayron and our friend Arushale, because we haven't spoken to Arushale yet. Yep, nothing new. And Sociel have nothing new. Okay. So that's everybody outside. Next up is Horgus. It looks like we're going up to see Horgus Worm next. I'm sure he'll have something to say. There he is. Alright. Save the game in front of him. But first things first, let's take a quick break, everybody. I'm going to play an ad. And then when we come back, we're going to keep going. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, we're back. Hope you all enjoyed that little break. I have water now, so don't worry about me being a bad example for children on the stream. Of course, I could just say it's water and you'll believe me, but it really is. Anyway, let's talk to Horgus. Oh, he doesn't have anything new, but except this. Are you aware of my special powers? People say a lot of things about you. They say that you can make the burnt soil of the world womb bloom with a single touch. That your very image scares away the demons and makes their strongholds crumble. They also say that you pick your allies from among the rabble because it is your sacred duty to try and redeem them. Perhaps I put it too broadly. Let me explain. People see your power, and they also see that you are different from the other, more righteous paladins, who are softer, brighter, a bit frivolous, if I may. They see that you have little respect for rules and restrictions, and that gives them food for, well, various thoughts. The Crusades have never seen a commander like this before. What if not all the changes and people you brought here are for the better? Given these sentiments, I would be very careful if I were you. It is very easy to get carried away with your games and turn the army into a farce. A farce army sounds pretty cool, I would say. What do you think, chat? Do we want our army to be a joke or not? I'm thinking we can do it. Who the fuck are you, one-eyed devil? I love your name, and it makes you immediately awesome. A short, chubby tiefling with a golden eye patch spits chewing tobacco between his feet and takes another pinch from a tobacco box adorned with jewels. A fine day to you, Commander. Welcome to the One-Eyed Devil's trading house. His proud manner suggests that each word begins with a capital letter, and perhaps even continues in capital letters as well. Really, a trading house, you say? Looks like a shop to me. Ah, that depends. There was a time when I had nothing in my pockets but holes. But did I consider myself poor? No. I considered myself a rich man who was temporarily down on his luck. Optimism is important, not only in the battlefield, Commander. You are the leader of a victorious army that will be chopping all the demons into mincemeat sooner or later. I am the owner of a trade empire which, as you see, is only starting to grow. This guy has to be Scottish. Or Irish. Either or. We're muddling the accent. How did a tiefling end up on the side of the Crusaders anyway? Why, the answer is simple. The simplest thing there is. This is a good world, and I like living in it. Besides, it's the only one we've got. I love to know what's going on in the heads of the dimwits who are helping the demons destroy it. My best guess is that their horns grow inward, so there's no room for brains. I'm from Cheliax. Tieflings don't surprise anyone there. And they don't like demons any more than we do here. And why would they? The gods went to all the trouble of creating this world. Even Lord Asmodeus and his devils helped with the construction. And now these freeloaders show up after all the hard work is done, just to gorge and break things. It doesn't matter who you pray to. If you want to live, it's your duty to help. That is a risky name for a store for Crusaders. Ah, yes. A week doesn't go by without some dimwit boiling over. Well, they don't pay me to explain the difference between allies and enemies, devils and demons, Lord Asmodeus and all the riffraff like Baphomet and Ascari. So they can go hang. The tiefling spits between his feet and swiftly places another pinch of chewing tobacco in his mouth. I like this guy. Here's what I think. You like it, you buy it. If you don't like it, keep moving. If you're spoiling for a fight, take yourself off to the tavern. What happened to your eye, if I may ask? Hey! I should make up a story about a heroic fight with a horde of demons. Truth be told, this is how it happened. Back when I was a snot-nosed kid, I had just opened my first business selling pies on the street. The local lads quickly took notice of me and offered me protection in return for a small share of profits. The usual, you know. But I was young, inexperienced, and greedy. So I told them to bugger off. Well, they caught me and taught me a lesson. They took it too far, though. I paid for the lesson with my eye, not just bumps and bruises. It's funny to remember it now, but back then, while it was happening, I was so scared. I thought they'd beat me to death. I remember I came running home in tears, and my mom just started screaming. I didn't have a clue why, and then I looked in the mirror and saw there were just shreds of mush around where my eyes should be. I've remembered that lesson all my life. Ever since that day when I start a business, I find some reliable business partners first. If I had been born in a merchant family, my parents would have warned me about this. And about plenty of other things, too. Ugh, I know, that's... But I was a poor lad, and I had to learn everything the hard way. It's a miracle how many times I escaped deaths by a hair's breadth. In fact, it's lucky I lost one eye. I can afford a new eye now, of course, but you know, I just can't find the time. It'll cost a tidy sum, and I don't want to take it out of the earnings, and besides, the one-eyed devil is a big selling point for me. I'd be a fool to get my eye back only to have to keep it hidden under a patch. Have you heard about my powers? What do you make of them? People are saying bad things about you, Commander. To be clear, the speakers may not see anything bad in the way they say, in what they say, but I do. They say you're the chosen of Desna, the most insignificant of all the goddesses. The only thing she knows how to do is flap her butterfly wings and meddle in the affairs of others. They also say you're not a patch on the other crusade leaders, and that you'll accept absolutely anyone under your banner. A former thief, a goblin, a kobold, even a stump with eyes. I mean, why the fuck not? And you got yourself quite the troublesome pet. I could understand a serious battle dragon, but this misbegotten thing with dragonfly wings? She gives you as much trouble as a flock of hundreds of sparrows. And what good does that do you? It's bad business to associate with such creatures. I prefer devils myself, but the terms are clearly laid out in the contract. So how come your prices are so damn high? And that includes saving the world, including you, from the demons. That's some claim. Did you hear that, good people? First of all, my prices are perfectly fair. They're no higher than you'd find anywhere else. Second, who's saving who here? Are you prepared to eat bark and fight with rocks and sticks? You know, I have open contracts with dozens of suppliers. I arrange deliveries and do whatever it takes to get you sharper weapons, better magical items, better food, and you're throwing the extra expense in my face. This is the thanks I get for honest work. Well, I've ruffled Scrooge McDuck here. Let me see your wares. What do you got? Actually, these are pretty cheap. The Charisma headband's a little pricey, but yeah. Ooh, here we go. Hamaraki armor. It's a +1, so it's kind of shit. Infiltrator armor. What's this do? +2 leather with stealth skill check bonus. Adamantine scale mail. Can't say no to that. But flowing skills is slightly better. The barding might be... No, he can't use the barding. Can he actually get anything here? No, he can't. Okay. Ooh, Thundering Dirt. Undead Bane. Great Club. Mythful Flail. Thundering Smite. Holy Rapier. Well, that would be a Camellia weapon easily, but she actually has a new rapier, right? She has the Tender Touch at the moment. +2 Necrotic Rapier, which deals whenever you cast the Vampiric Touch spell, she deals 1d8 damage instead of d6. Does she actually have that spell? I should check. If we're going to use that rapier, we should probably use it. Otherwise, we'll just do the Mind Piercer, which is slightly better. Well, their damages are the same, but the Mind Piercer Piercing damage against enemies under mind-affecting effects. Let's see. She actually doesn't have vampiric touch, does she? No, she doesn't. So then that rapier is probably useless. Let's see. Let me get the inventory, sorry. Yeah, get back to the Mind Piercer. It's a better rapier for you, and we can just sell this. Extra 6,000 right there is nothing to sneeze at. So here's the inn. Let's see what the inn says. Well, we got food. We got locked chest and loot. And we got the peasants and loot. Book loot. Book loot is good loot. Let's go to the second floor. Hello. Listen in. Perception DC 23. What's our perception? 1. What's Ava's? 8, 15. Okay, so she can do it. I'm assuming she can. We'll find out, I guess. Oh, our Chalet does it. I guess she has the highest perception. The one Kellid told this, my brothers, and me on his deathbed, that when he died and no one knows but us. Okay. I know this is their sacred forest. They prayed in the meadow of the spirits. Shamanic relics, you say? A big treasure? Sounds like a lie. Everything was collected, carried away, buried in that cave. The scouts say a bear lives in those forests, a terrible one. And there must be magic guards in the cave. That's why we suggest you come with us. We'll split the treasure equally. Okay, what are you up to, boys? Anything else? I think we found something hidden, everybody. No, we'll have to check that out. Who's that? Nenio!
Watch out for trouble.
Oh! Oh, she actually has something to say. So, the experiment. Nenio gestures excitedly. I will need some supplies for this one. Boy, please bring me a bottle of alcohol. Any will do. And please hurry up. Science can't wait. What kind of experiment? This will be an experiment of a personal nature. Neo seems sheepish. But no less exciting for that. Mark my words. Why do you need alcohol? I already told you. It's for an experiment. Hurry up and bring it to me. Alright, fuck it. I will wait your return with the greatest anticipation. With immense, immeasurable impatience. No. Don't have the bottle yet. Okay, fuck it. Might as well get beer for Nenio. Not in the inn. I guess we'll have to get it at the tavern. I wonder what she's trying to do. I honestly don't know. That's the irony. We have a jewelry artisan here. I don't know what the hell that was, but we should probably look at that next. Ooh. Hello.
Welcome to the shop of Derek Sunhammer, the finest jewelry in all of Mendev. True artistry, crafted by the master himself and his apprentices. Take a look.
Okay, Golem, show the wares. What do we got? Positive channeling would be nice. Oh, ring of protections and bracers. Standard stuff. Ooh. Golden medallions. You know, they very rarely put jewelry like this in the game unless there's an eventual purpose for it. I'm curious what that purpose is.
Keep your calm.
Either that or it's just flavor. I don't know. I guess it could be both. So, nope, that's not it. Half Measure Tavern. We need to go into the tavern here anyway, but now we have a reason to. Somewhere in here is... There he is, Grey Boar. That's who we gotta talk to. But first, let's talk to the tavern keep. The boy sitting on the counter looks about 18. He salutes you with dignity, though his eyes scarcely rise from the tavern's ledger. The Knight Commander is at my establishment. What an honor! The name is Phi Kaido. I'm the owner of the Half Measure. How should I address you? I asks because I don't like undue familiarity, while others scoff at the tediousness of ceremony and titles. I'm honestly just thinking of that teenage kid from all of the Simpson jobs there. Call me by my name. Deal. I know your name, of course. Who in Dresden doesn't? What can I do for you? Wine, a meal, heart-to-heart talk? I mean, the Half Measure is a strange name for a tavern. Oh, that's a family story. It's not for the faint-hearted, but you're not one of those, are you? One day before the wardstones were erected, a peasant family got lost on the way to the fair and ended up near the borders of the world wound. They stumbled upon a bored demon who killed the father right away. He then asked the mother if she'd prefer him to take all her children, or only half of them. The sobbing woman looked at her 3 darlings and said half. The demon promptly cut the arms and legs off of all 3 children. I said, I guess that's even, and disappeared. Well, that's fucked up on so many levels. People across Dresden heard this story after the family found shelter at the local temple of Iomedae. For many years, they saved up a regeneration spell so the children could be made whole again. They eventually scraped together enough for just 1 scroll, and decided to give the youngest child a second chance at life. He soon became the tavern's first owner and called it the Half Measure in memory of his family and the terrible incident with the demon. He had a good life for a time, got himself married, and always planned to help his brother and sister, though he never got a proper chance. When the demons of Dresden surrounded, the poor cripples tried to run for their lives, but they died on the spot. The brother and his wife died a little later at the hands of the deserters. There were rumors that the same demon that butchered the family came to Dresden and made a den of the half-measure. If that's true, I guess he got what he deserved when you freed the city. That's the story. Vi shrugs pensively. How do you own this tavern? You're such a young kid. Before the siege of Dresden, the half-measure belonged to a distant relative. I mean, you just told us the story. I won't bore you with the details of how his family died. Just 3 words. Demon worshippers and sacrifice should be enough. Now that the city's been liberated, the authorities of Iomede's church will be returning what remains to the lawful heirs of the deceased. They take these things seriously in Mendev. Oh shit, I got money. Fi suddenly slaps himself on the forehead. We started talking about the inn, and I remember I wanted to thank you for personally defeating the demon in this very tavern when the city was liberated. Without you, who knows how many glasses he would have smashed before the Crusaders got to him. So please accept my thanks from the bottom of my heart. Why do you like sitting on the counter there? 2 reasons, Faye says seriously. Dresden isn't the biggest city, but it still has a few taverns and pubs. To compete with the others, I need people to remember my establishment and myself. That's the first reason. A tavern keeper who sits on the counter definitely sticks out from the others who prefer to stand behind the bars. All dignified. Believe me, you're not the first one to ask. Sooner or later, every customer does. Second reason is the place's atmosphere. People should feel relaxed here. Life near the world wound is hard enough. Folks don't go to taverns looking to cause each other more trouble. So I allow certain liberties, myself included. I'm even thinking of hosting an invigorating brawl here on the 5th of every month. I'll let my favorite customers break glasses and swing on the chandelier. That's very, very, very specific. What's the feeling in the city right now? I can only tell you about my customers. They're mostly working folks, the ones who are rebuilding what's been destroyed, along with soldiers and some merchants. Overall, spirits are high as they can be in Mendev, a nation of rattling sabers and fluttering banners. Everyone loves it when the demons get their horns, tails, and other parts handed to them. They've already forgotten that we nearly lost Canabras. War is like that. People live for one day, and that day is tomorrow, not yesterday. You've been a source of joy and inspiration for everyone as well. Just a simple guy, an ordinary human, not an elf with the wisdom of the ages, not an Asimar blessed by heaven. Yet you defeated the demons and thumbed your nose at the Queen's Knights. That's the kind of story people love. This calls for a toast, doesn't it? Indeed. Drinks on the house. Hey, we got the mead for free. Ha ha! What do your customers say about my powers? They talk about you so much that you could fill a hefty tome with theories about your birth alone. You may be the new herald of Desna, or perhaps her son. You were born from a beautiful flower, or you fell to Glorian from the falling stars of Numeria. The earth blossoms under your feet, the water turns to ale. Incidentally, if the last one is true, please don't perform that miracle too often, or you'll drive down my prices. Forgive me, but your little dragon has caused a stir among the townsfolk. She pokes her nose in everything and everywhere. I recently found her in a pickle barrel. She scolded me for keeping yucky things in the basement instead of goodies. But I don't mind. Small and relatively harmless dragons do attract customers, and they cause not an excessive amount of damage. Oh. Hello. Plus 10 competence bonus on perception. When the wearer confirms a critical hit with any blow, the target becomes disoriented for D4 rounds, suffering a -4 circumstance penalty to initiative checks, attack rolls, athletics, and perception checks. Ooh. Ooh. That's fucking good. And expensive. damn it! Ooh, mulled wine. We're gonna get that recipe. God damn it! Why is everything expensive? We have almost 70,000. This would cost us 34. 68 minus 34 would be 34. So it's literally half of our money. It might be worth it, to be honest with you, but who would we give it to? Who has a high chance for a critical hit? That might be the question. It's not me. That's for sure. Sociel's at a 20. 1920 with the crossbow. But 20 nonetheless. Ninio's at a 20. Ember's 19 to 20. Oh, not her. She is 18 to 20 as hers? Okay. She's the front runner. Deron's 19 to 20. Lands just appear 20. That surprised me. Okay. Lethal damage too. We gotta fix that. Ursula is a 19 to 20. With the bows. Everything else, not so much. Move those. Can we give her a sword? We could probably give her the sword. Yeah, we'll do that later. Regil is 20. But we can change that later, I think. And Sela's 7. Oh my god, 17 to 20. And that's just with Radiance. Ooh. Critical range of 17 to 20 is fucking fantastic. With her armor class too. Oh my god. I kind of want to get those glasses and give them to Sela. Because that could be devastating. Oh, that evil outsider Bane Spear. Give him the outsider Bane Spear. This Immaculate Petal. Oh, we don't want to get rid of that. That is Sociel's. Yeah. Quick Death can go. I think those glasses actually are worth the price of admission. And putting them on Sela, oofa. Extra perception check bonus. Well, now she just looks like a pimp. Look at that. Look at that. That's awesome. What's a perception anyway? Perception was already solid. Oh no, it was terrible. So now it's just plus 11. Nothing groundbreaking, but we're really using this with the confirmed critical hit. Oh, it's with bows. Fuck! Alright, it's one of you two then. 19 to 20, 19 to 20. Where's the higher perception? I always thought we were getting somewhere with that, and I fucked up. Alright. Perception's a 2. Perception's a 20. Yeah, obviously we're just going to give it to Arushale, and then she will see everything in the world. That honestly makes the most sense anyway. Alright, let's talk to Greybor.
There are many roads to success.
How can I help you?
Before you stands a dwarf. He has stern, rugged features and looks to be well armed. He fills his pipe with tobacco from Garund, lights it, and blows out a cloud of smoke. Finally, he addresses you with a deep, dignified voice. Who are you exactly?
Don't you remember our last meeting? The name is Greybor. I'm an assassin for hire. But I suspect you're not here for small talk. Are you in need of my services?
Still smoking his pipe, the dwarf offers you a cursory salute. I want to hire you for a dragon hunt, specifically.
A large adult female? The one that's been snatching people and carrying them off? I've heard about her. That's an impressive target. I can take this job, but only if we do it soon. I'm expecting a new assignment from my regular client, and I'll have to leave as soon as I have the orders. And of course, you should know that this dragon will not come cheaply. 2,500 gold, paid in advance.
The dwarf's eyes light up, but his tone is one of studied indifference. Yeah, I'll pay.
Excellent. Let's get down to business. It's no easy thing to take down a dragon when you don't have wings, so you'll need to follow my lead. The best thing would be to catch her by surprise in her lair, but we need to find it first. Of course, since she doesn't leave tracks, that might be tricky, but I think I have a solution. We need to go west of Dresden, to the Grimwood Forest. The dragon's been seen there often. According to the scouts, this is likely because there's still some wild game left in those parts. We'll set up an ambush there. I hope I can rely on your honesty. I understand that on our way to the dragon, there may be other fights or places we need to visit for various reasons. That's to be expected. However, should I see that you are deliberately delaying the contract, or that you're dragging me off to assault some demon citadel instead of going after the dragon, we will have to revise the terms of our agreement.
So this guy's a pure mercenary, and I kind of like him for it already. Greybor blows a cloud of smoke from his pipe and gives you a searching glance. But guess who's a party member now? How you doing, buddy? So let's check him out. He is a dual wielder, and he has ourselves a dwarven war axe +3 and crushing cold. Ooh, +3 adamantine frost hand axe. When it confirms a critical hit, it casts Cone of Cold as a level wizard. Holy shit! Here's the thing, though. We have a few hand axes that we can use. 15 and 10. Get rid of... Let's see. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, there we go. Duh. $18.13 for the one. If we give him the throwing axe, of silence. That also could be useful too. He already comes kitted with some stuff. Studded leather +2, not too bad. Amulet of natural armor, belt of giant strength, and a ring of protection. We can kit him further, I think. We could also... The pick might be useful for him too. $14.19, $13.8, $15.10, $16.11. It's because it's finesse. Might be because of finesse. Let's see what the character kit is. Dwarf, Slayer proficiencies, Mercenary. He believes in the Gorber. Jesus. Weapon proficiency with spears and javelins. That's interesting. He has sneak attack. He also has weapon focus with the Dwarven War Axe. So he actually should be using that War Axe. 2 weapon fighting, accomplished sneak attacker, improved 2 weapon fighting, double slice, hammer the gap, power attacks, blah blah blah. Traits. Weapon focus with the Dwarven War Axe is good. Let's see what we can do. Alright, he has a pretty specific kit here. I'm gonna give him athletics and a little knowledge world, why not? Oh, we're doing Slayer stuff, Slayer talent, right? Studied target. Advanced talents are now available. Dirty Trick would be pretty solid, actually, for him. Combat tricks, though. Improve his criticals. 2 weapon combat. Greater 2 weapon fighting. A 3rd attack with your offhand with a penalty. There's a lot of choices we can make here. Crippling Strike might be pretty good. We want to use him as a sneak attacker. That's pretty much the entire shtick. Trip would also be pretty good. There's a lot of choices here. Skill focus, no. 2 weapon combat. We can get greater 2 weapon fighting. Or the combat trick for the improved critical. think we can do a hand axe improved critical for that. Turns that into a 1920. Also get something else completely different. I mean, dodge is pretty good. Dodge bonus to AC is always a plus. Critical mastery. Guess you know what? I'm gonna go improve critical. I'm gonna go with the hand axe. We have to kid him out a little bit, I think, but this couldn't do. $15.10, $17.12. He's better on that side with it. $16.11. Yeah, this will do for now. $18.13, 10 D10 plus 9, and $16.11 D6 plus 8. But the added effects, the fact that it automatically confirms critical hits against larger creatures. Honestly, you know what? Stick with what he has for now, because it's probably going to be better hitting. And we'll sell the others.
I will guide.
So we gotta bring Greybor with us to, well, to these woods, and that's our next step, our next goal then. So we know where we're going when we leave the city. Let's get back to the inn, because we have alcohol, and we can now check in with Nenio.
Focus on the goal.
So I don't know where Regil is. We gotta talk to him still. Although, who knows if he has anything to say. More alcohol. Would someone please think of the children? Well, we have alcohol in game, and Nenio requested it. The Fox Lady wants it, so Fox Lady gets. I found a bottle for you. Nenio snatches the bottle out of your hands and stares at it with all the covetousness of a seasoned alcoholic. Here it is, my path to learning the true values of humanity from the perspective of the lowliest man on the streets. She produces a corkscrew from her sleeve and looks at it in bafflement. Then at the bottle. Then at the corkscrew again. After which she hands the bottle back to you. Open it! This experiment definitely won't work if we don't open it. Do you always carry a corkscrew up your sleeve? Don't be preposterous. But I am always meticulous about when it comes to preparing for my experiments. I plan for every eventuality, Nenio sighs. All right, I admit it. That's not true. But I have truly prepared for this particular experiment. So what's this experiment going to be about, Nenio? I'm taking a huge risk with this experiment. I'm putting my reputation, my good name, and even my future on the line. With the help of this bottle, I will lower myself to the level of the average man on the street, and I will try to understand the mentality of someone wholly devoid of intelligence. Surely, you know, maybe even from personal experience, that alcohol dampens mental activity and is a catalyst for stupidity. With a brain like mine, alcohol is the only way to find out how it feels to be an idiot. You asking me to be your drinking buddy? Not at all. I'll do the drinking alone. Your role in this experiment will include standing here and providing me with a visible reaction to my inevitable temporary degradation. You're talking as if you've never tried alcohol before. I haven't. I never saw the point of it. Okay, this is going to be fun. Let's get started. Well, let's begin. With the steely resolve of a warrior going through his last battle, Nennial takes a big gulp straight for the bottle. Ah! Oh, that's disgusting! After she overcomes the urge to vomit, she looks at you with teary eyes. How do you all drink this? I am doing this for the sake of science! Another gulp. Oh, that should be enough. Ugh. Now, am I stupid yet? Quick, ask me something smart. Okay. Oh, how many arcane schools are there? 8, of course. Transmutation, abjuration, enchantment, illusion, and so on. By the way, did you know that there is one so-called universal or common pseudo-school? And the disputes about the status of this school are capable of turning a quiet old university professor into a growling, spitting barbarian? It would appear I am not drunk enough yet. Nenio takes another swig from the bottle. Right. Seems to be working. Now I need to come up with an idea right now. I actually have a ton of ideas. Let's see now. Dascari and Baphomet. Their anti-Crusader alliance is not effective enough. They need to unite their forces on the physical level. Baphomet needs to mount Dascari and ride him into battle. 2 in 1. Wow! Yes, the experiment was successful. I am definitely drunk. She takes another gulp from the bottle to further confirm her condition. How does it feel to be drunk for the first time in your life from a scientific point of view? Terrific! I definitely become more stupid. More than that, I am as dumb as a box of rocks right now. I don't give a rat's ass about science. Wait, I think I've got it. That's how 2 men on the street see science? They don't give a rat's ass about it. Who cares how many arcane schools were recognized by some Absalom professors? Arcane schools are over there. Nenio waves with a vague wave of her hand, whereas the bottle is right here where it belongs. I've turned her into an alcoholic. I hope you're satisfied now. Incredible! My intellect never stood a chance in its battle with alcohol, and that is most striking. The fact doesn't bother me at all. It feels like all the thoughts in my head just went poof and disappeared. My thirst for knowledge, my desire to prove myself, they're all gone. My mind is so calm, it's actually a little frightening. I simply must describe this condition in my encyclopedia, but I'll get to that later. I just don't feel like it right now. You're not going to drink like a fish from now on, are you? What? Of course not. How could you think of that from me? Me, the greatest scientist of modern times. Nenio licks her lips with intense concentration. Fine, maybe a little bit. Sometimes. No more than once a year. And only if no one sees me. I've got a reputation to maintain. Well, now what then? That's it for now. The experiment was a success. Just a moment, Nenio stares at you with glazed eyes, shakes her head, and exhales loudly. She meets your gaze again, and her eyes are crystal clear. All right, I'm fine now. What was that? What was what? A minute ago you were drunk as a skunk, and now all of a sudden you're stone cold sober. Is that so? Neo looks at the bottle in her hand, thoughtfully licks her lips, and nods. It seems that is indeed what happened. Clearly, I decided to forget the incident entirely, because I no longer need this information. What I need now is to write the article for the encyclopedia about the influence that alcohol has on an individual's mind. So you can forget you were drunk and sober up just like that. I have simply blocked the deleterious effects of alcohol from my mind. To put it in basic terms, I just forgot I consumed alcohol. The mechanism is similar to the one that I use to get rid of irrelevant memories. It's not overly complicated, if you know how to do it. That's actually impressive and amazing. What? What are you talking about? Okay, goodbye. On behalf of future generations, I formally thank you for your assistance in this momentous experiment. Now, I have time to answer your questions. Come on, ask away. I will see you later, Nenio. Fucking hell. Oh, there's Helor. Congratulations on taking Dresden, Commander. It's a great victory, though you paid for it with much blood. Its smell still hangs in the air. I remember the smell well. The last time that air reeked like this was the most horrible day of my life. The day I nearly caught the Spinner of Nightmares. Good luck. Watch your back. Only trust your closest friends. The enemy is cunning and treacherous. We'll do the Spinner of Nightmares story another day. It is coming close to 2 hours, and I think I'm going to call it. Short, simple stream tonight, everybody. Sorry to say. But, yeah, I got work in the morning. That's alright, though. We do have to go to the prison. I'm not leaving just yet, Gumstitch. In a couple of minutes I will be. We did the barracks. We have to go to the prison. There's an abandoned building here. We should check that out, actually. Yep. Hope you're enjoying all the crazy voice acting. Or lack thereof. It's a long fucking way to get there, isn't it? Abandoned building it is.
Watch out for trouble.
Looks like no trouble here. Oh yeah, that's right. We cleaned this out. And this leads to, like, this basement area. I remember this. This is near the prison. Oh, looks like we got little bits of loot that we can nab. Journals that we can read. Lots of journals that we can read. Nope, I just dropped one. Yeah, I keep forgetting a lot of these books. If you click on it like this, I would normally read them out loud, but I don't have the time. But if you click on them like this, you can actually gain knowledge from the books. If you see that message, you learn something new from this book. So 2 of these books actually did give us something new, which is cool.
Keep your calm.
The reason why that's cool is that could be information that we can use later for passing an automatic check or something like that. So minor thing, but a nice little feature in the game. Definitely helps out with the battles ahead, which there will be many, so be ready. So we did the abandoned house. What about the regular house? Knowledge is power, and knowing is half the battle. That is what G.I. Joe taught us. What is in house? House has loot. And trapdoor. House has big trapdoor with big larder. House is being has stolen items coming now, because I steal them. It's honestly mostly ingredients and shit, so it's nothing crazy. Might as well grab them, because we can just use them ourselves. And unlike older games like Baldur's Gate, there's no penalty for stealing.
Success.
Hooray! I can nab anything I want. Which is a plus. Nice juicy plus, I would say. Let's see, we did all these houses. We do need to go to the prison still. There's a house over here that we can do. Let's do here. And I guess we'll jump into the prison to talk to Nura. Whom I'm 90% sure we cannot redeem. I mean, we could try, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think you can only redeem her on the trickster path. Prodigal Sons, okay. Ah, some cheese and butter. And lots of little ingredients. That is cool. Cool beans! Alright. Time to go to the prison. See what happens in there. Well, I guess I could use this time just to remind everybody that I really wish one of these RPG games would make a quest where you have to catch a thief, and it happens to be you in the end. That would be pretty hilarious. Just like random houses you've robbed throughout the game or kept track of. And then, like, you just have, like, a bounty hunter after you, like, we heard you rob these places. We're looking for a thief like that. That would be fucking cool. Such a good idea. Alright. Well, Nora's the only one here. Nora bares her teeth like a cornered rat. Come to gloat? I actually need information. Do you? And why would I give it to you? Do we want him, do we really want to go super chaotic and offer a deal? I don't know. What do you think, chat? Should we go for a deal here? What do you think? I guess technically nothing's stopping us from reneging later. Alright, You know what? Fuck it. How about a deal? You give me information, I give you freedom. After everything I've done? Ha, fine. I'll pretend to believe you. What do you want to know? So who did you actually work for? Templars of the Eye-Free Labyrinth. Cultists of Baphomet. Some serve him for rewards, others serve under dire threat. Some fools even think they'll earn transformation into demons. I only served because it was my chance at revenge. The Grand Master leads the Templars. He's a mysterious figure said to be more of an ideologue than an actual commander. All the cultists I know answer to a woman named Jarabeth. I never saw her myself, but I heard that she is dazzlingly beautiful. And when she speaks, you believe her every word. Even if you know that she's lying through her teeth. I have absolutely no idea where to look for her, but I know there's someone much more powerful and dangerous, someone the common followers never see. Rumor has it it's Baphomet's flesh and blood daughter. Something like reverence seeps into Nura's voice. Minaga also gave me orders, but I don't think I can tell you anything new about her. You've met her a few times already. Are there any other cultists in the Crusader army besides you? I think so, but everyone I knew has been caught by the Eagle Watch. Earbeth sent a lot of us to the gallows, but Baphomet will always find new servants. Always. Anyone could be a cultist, even Earbeth herself. You think you can tell your friend from your enemy? Think again. Nura chuckles cruelly. Who's the leader of the Daskari cultists? Daskari's cultists are dumb meat. They can't hide, only fight. But there are others among them, adepts of a higher rank, intelligent, dangerous wizards, hiding somewhere in the world wound. They're led by Xanthir the Plagued One. He isn't human. I don't know what he is, but he's not human, that's for sure. They say he doesn't even have a human body, only a massive insect swarming under his robe. Well, that's a fucking image. Whew. Who was that huge demon that attacked us during the battle? That was a Balor named Darazand, the leader of those poor creatures who have been ordered to fill the ditches of Dresden with their own bodies and break the walls of the city with their own heads. He had them run drills every day, and every day they had to scrape someone off the ground. You're lucky that dwarf chased him off. Darazan alone could hold off a small army. He'll be back, and all of you here will be good as dead. That's all I wanted to know. Nira shrugs without saying a word. Should we actually free her? What do you think, chat? Should we free her, or is that a bad idea? Let chaos roam, so let her free? She's probably going to come back and bite us in the ass. Alright, you're free. Go wherever you want. Whoa, so you weren't lying. I never expected that. I'm serious. Now get out. Well, farewell. Maybe we'll meet again. I really hope that doesn't bite me in the ass later. That's all I'm gonna say. I was wondering if the game crashed there for a second. Well, there's really only one place left to go. And that is the Citadel itself. There's the banner. Well, with the Citadel, I'm off to do my own thing now. Have fun with the rest of the stream. Thank you so much, Phantom Pyro. I'm going to be leaving shortly, too, so... I'm pretty sure if I go in here, we get cutscenes. Yep. A middle-aged paladin with a genial face salutes you. His sparse gray hair stands in fuzzy tufts on his head, giving him a distinctly unwarlike appearance. Everbright Crusaders reporting for duty. My name is C.R. Colbin, and I am at your service. Queen Galfrey is gathering the main attack forces in Irasane. She ordered us to replenish the losses suffered in Canabris and come here. We will support your troops. A tall, dark-eyed lad is standing behind CR. He passionately echoes CR's words. We are ready to go to the front immediately. Allow us to be at the spear of the attack. The old Crusader calls the young man to order. Morveg, don't speak unless spoken to. Oh, don't worry. No one will be defeating any demons without you. CR smiles kindly and tussles the boy's hair. Who have you brought with you? Everbright Crusaders, mainly, but we have a lot of volunteers who joined us. Those who arrived at the Queen's call, but didn't want to sit in Irasane waiting for the main army to set off. All the hotheads know that the front is here. CR nods at the boy behind him, the one who's eager to fight. We picked up this one, too. He walked to Canabris with an old sword in his hand and a few copper coins in his pocket. He was going to keep walking to kill the demons. And then he would probably have laid siege to Threshold, no doubt. The boy's cheeks go pink at the old man's gentle mockery, but he continues to stare ahead resolutely and boldly. This kid's gonna die or is a betrayer. Either or. Did you fight in Canabris? How were things there? Not personally, no. The Queen summoned me and the bulk of our order to near Sane. Almost all those who remained behind in Canabris died, and the ones who didn't were disorganized and leaderless. But the order did not perish. New volunteers have been pouring into our ranks. We are licking our wounds. Canabris is rebuilding. Life wins out. People are coming from all over Avestan to help. Many are joining up with the Crusaders, just as it happened back in the First Crusade. You'll be serving under my command in CR. The Crusader gives you a friendly smile. It's an honor for us, Commander. Let's give the demons a dusting. Oh, there's Regil, Anivia. Alright, let's talk to them. Hail, Commander. First off, give Solom Hour back to her. I found your father's sword. Please take it. Praise Iomade! Earbeth takes the sword as gently as if it were a living creature, and sheathes it in the scabbard. I don't know what to say. I'm forever indebted to you. I never thought I'd get my sword back. Holy fuck! 50,000 gold! Ho-ho! Please allow me to reward you, and please, no objections. I can never replace this sword. I shall never part with it again, I swear. How's the Eagle Watch doing in Canabris? Everything is going well? I was weary of handing over the reins at first. I was afraid that everything would fall apart without Nevi and me. But I took a risk and left a very clever lad in charge. A tiefling, as it happens. He infiltrated the cult alone. They couldn't imagine a tiefling wouldn't be on their side. He exposed an entire cell. I personally knighted him, just before the city was attacked. Of course, there were many who weren't happy about that, but it's not my job to make people happy. He hasn't disappointed. He has built up the Order's ranks again and is running everything so smoothly. It's as if the demon attack never happened. He's proven more than once that I left Canabras in good hands, but I admit, it's still strange to think that such a small order as the Eagle Watch now has 2 chapters. One in Dresden and one in Canabras. What about the attack on Dresden? Irbeth nods curtly. Yes, I was shamefully faint-hearted. Praise Iomade, it didn't affect the course of the battle. Still, my behavior was unworthy of a knight, even less a commander. Under the circumstances, leaving my position would be tantamount to desertion. Still, as your advisor, I strongly recommend you release me from my position as head of the order, strip me of my knighthood, and send me to serve in the condemned. Fuck no! Although we can do any of these. Don't blame yourself. You did everything and more. And keep doing that. Thank you, Commander. The gratitude in your best voice is sincere. A spark of enthusiasm appears in her eyes, which had grown dull in recent weeks. The half-orc salutes you sharply. For a moment, you once again see the Irbeth who was ready to protect the defender's heart to her dying breath. Thank you for still trusting me, more than anyone else does in this crusade, even more than I trust myself. Despite her words, Irbeth obviously still feels unworthy of her commander's rank. Changing her mind will require more than platitudes. Perhaps you can bolster her by appointing her to a position where she can work more closely with rank-and-file soldiers. Those who faith in her command and their commander remains undimmed. That's a clue, I think. Irbeth says goodbye with a short bow. Yep, Ishimura, they're all Irbeth to spend more time with people. Okay. Anivia. Look who it is. Hi. Did you find out anything new about where Minago is now? Anivia shakes her head. Nope. Zero, zilch. Whole lot of nothing. The scum melted into thin air. Soldiers saw her jump out the window, run through the square in front of the citadel, and suddenly disappear. We haven't heard anything from her since. I don't like it. I'm telling you, this is bad. First of all, her kind don't just give up. If we can't see her, that means she's getting a trap for us somewhere we don't expect. I mean, it would be great if the demon lords just gobbled her up for all her failures. But I think that's too much to hope for. But that's not the worst part. We have a more interesting question, you know? I wonder how she teleported from the city. If by that time you've already hung the banner, the soldiers are saying it probably wasn't in full force by then. But you and I both know that's dross. She wasn't supposed to be able to teleport, but she did. The question is how. What do you think of the new powers I have? Anivia scoffs. I don't know if this counts as blasphemy or whatever, but you look like Desna just had her wicked way with you. You got a bit of that divine sass about you now. And the dragon? I'm a little put out that I didn't get to see how you flew on the thing in battle. Sending the demons running scared, grabbing whatever they could be, highlighting it out of there. We figured out how the demons have been sneaking up on us. Nevi answers with scarcely concealed irritation. No dice. Our scouts crowded all over the area, down every hole, nothing. The gray road was completely empty, and then, bam! A whole army popped up like a jack-in-a-box. My only lead is a few scouts who didn't come back from the gorges to the southwest. But we found no sign of secret paths or underground passageways, and definitely no route we can use to quietly move a large force through. But I feel it in my gut there's some evil scum out there. We just have to look harder. Of course, I could send out more scouts, but they might just disappear like the first ones. Why don't you go there yourself and find out what's what? She shrugs with a lazy smile. So tell me about yourself. I'd be happy to, but there's kind of nothing to tell. What's so interesting about me? So, Irbeth Ponder sword for your treatment. What was that treatment for? Oh, it was no big deal. I just sat out in the cold too long and caught a chill. I appreciate the concern and all. But don't worry, I'm healthy as a horse now. Even so, though, I need to know, what medicine did Irbeth get for you? You don't seem to be getting the message. I don't want to talk about it. Not now, anyway. Ask me again in a year. Or 10. Okay. Reginald, you got anything? No, you don't. Okay. Wow. Well, this place is fucking huge. Is this our bedroom? Please be our bedroom. Yes, it is. Ah, the personal chest. With all the shit we have in it. Let's take it back.
Keep your calm.
We can use that for the storyteller when we find him. He's somewhere. That leads outside.
There are many roads to success.
This just leads over here. Alright. Save the game. Crusade Affairs. Much like Kingmaker, a lot of things now just open up. Now that you've captured Dresden, new options for the Crusade have become available. You can now construct buildings in forts and Dresden, issue decrees, capture and investigate new regions. Both mercenary and trainable units will appear at the commander's HQ at Dresden. The demon armies will try to take Dresden from you every time. Destroy them or else after 7 days of siege. Dresden will be blockaded completely by enemy forces and you will no longer be able to command a crusade. To access the Crusade Management menu, click the button in the bottom right corner of the screen on the global map. Developing each of the Crusade stats opens up new options to empower your economy, blah blah blah. This is basically the Kingmaker Kingdom Builder Lite. Military focuses on drilling and training. Recruit both trainable and mercenary units to improve the rank of your military stat. Logistics focuses on economy and construction. Construct buildings to improve the rank of your logistics stat. Diplomacy focuses on establishing contacts with mercs and foreign nations. Enhance the significance of the Crusade by earning resources of all types to improve your rank with your diplomacy. Leadership focuses on morale and army generals. Win battles and level up your generals to improve the rank of leadership. Once the rank up requirements for one of the Crusaders' stats has been met, you unlock the decree. Your military campaign will require 3 types of resources: finances, material, and energy. Finance points are used for all Crusades' needs, but first and foremost, they're needed to recruit units. Materials are used for building construction, and energy is used for the recruitment of mythic units and the completion of certain decrees. You will gain new resource points each day. Prevailing over demon armies in battle and constructing certain buildings increases the income of resources. You can also purchase the required resources with gold. Oh, fuck me. There is a lot. So we got footmen and archers. We can build different things here. Gives us logistics. Archers, rangers, bandits, marksmen, and headhunters if available. Smithy, arsenal. You can only have one of your decrees issued for each of the Crusade stats at any given time. We got a lot of them that we can do. Each decree has a cost and a completion time. Some decrees can only be issued once. Others have repeat times, which is displayed in the window. You progress in Crusade Management unlocks special decrees. A stat rank up decree bonus becomes available upon meeting specific skill up requirements. A relic upgrade decree, which turns a relic into a powerful artifact for your party to use, becomes available when you obtain a suitable relic. So the orders to Irbeth 1. Let's issue that. We cannot form a military council. Oh, these are all the items that we found. Okay. The Fate of the Crest of the Fallen Knight. A skilled craftsman can do some work with the relic. The relic will be augmented. Requires diplomacy. And 1,000 points there, plus 100 materials. Do we actually have... This is where things get fucking complicated for us. Development. Outpost to Bastion expansion. We can upgrade the outpost of the buildings as well as other construction of the advanced structures here. 1/4 of the outpost level with at least 3 of the 4 construction slots filled can be upgraded to Bastion level. Okay. Rank up. That's the councils that we were just talking about. And events. Birthright. Oh, relics. That's these 4. Studying the Sword of Valor? There's so much to do. We have multiple armies now. Unit types. Now you need your own infrastructure to hire trainable units. To recruit infantry units, build the main barracks, recruit range units, shooting range, and cavalry, we need stables. We still have the access to the mercs. Base stats and mercs are better than those trainable units, but mercs require more resources. So we need, we got plenty of that, but we need the other resources, don't we? Let's get a couple of those. The maps for us, the campaign is our troops. Events are... Okay, we can do these. A large group of suspicious individuals have arrived at the gates of Dresden. They wish to join the Crusades. Officers have recognized a number of thieves and murderers among their ranks. It seems that the newcomers are only interested in spoils of war. Should they be accepted? Interesting. This is from Birthright. Nobles often look down on commoners, and aristocrats are taught from birth that they are better than the lowborn. This attitude causes quarrels between them and the common warriors, and the officers have asked the commander to intervene. Have them fight for it. Sela acted as the head judge at the tournament where everyone was given a chance to prove their worth. The nobles went up against the commoners. and only strength and skill decide the outcome of each fight. Upon witnessing what common warriors were capable of, the aristocrats had no choice but to acknowledge their valor. The tournament served as a bonding experience for the Crusaders. I will take it. One more. The Army of Thieves. Good Raising Heroes Decree. Lawful, recruited to the commander's headquarters. Adds diplomacy experience points. 6 roads and 8 bandits are recruited. The raising, that intrigues me. It's a good thing we can actually see what these do. Let's accept them and take care of them. Arushale is certain that service in the crusade reforms thieves, so she has assigned experienced officers to guide them. Along with combat training, they teach the bandits about honor and valor. Okay. The success of military action depends on regular supply of everything troops need and the judicious distribution of resources. The Logistics Council, made up of experienced officers, will ensure that there is no chaos in the army while the commander's attention is focused on the front line. Yeah, let's set that up. Symbol of Rovagog. The Phylactery of Severus the Rotten. Let's do the crest still. I think the crest would be the one we want to do. And then a staff council for leadership is the only thing we can do left. Might as well. Okay. This is where we're at. We have a lot, our military is shit still. So we should actually try and change that. No, enter actually brings us back to the city itself. Oh, no, this is the Kingmaker thing. Okay, what are we doing? Let's build. What do we got? We got a supply center, the arsenal, the main barracks, the smithy, and the main archery range. Let's see. Apothecary. 10 bonus HP to all trainable units in adjoining buildings. Only one apothecary can be built in each fort except Dresden. Hall of Glory, Hall of Strategy. It's where the Crusade's brightest military. +1 bonus to attack and defense, and power of all generals. Mountain Knights, Paladins, Crusaders, Hedge Knights. We need a main we need a main stable, I think. Pathfinder Society Lodge would be pretty cool. And a sanctuary would be pretty cool. Increases energy points by +4. We will need a lot of energy points, won't we? Don't have a lot of resources. So what do we got? We got the main archery range. We got the smithy. We got the arsenal. And we got the main barracks over here. And then, of course, the supply center. So... engineer workshop. Reduces the cost of building construction by 10%. That might be worth that cost. Hall of Glory. Reduce the cost of recruiting mercenary units by 5%. Hall of Strategy. We talked about that already. Hospital. Honestly, we probably should get the stables going. And then... do we have enough for both? 500. We don't have enough for that in the sanctuary. This is devastating. Let's go. So we can't do the sanctuary now. Training grounds, 10% bonus to damage for all trainable units in adjoining buildings. Interesting. Let's do that. No, let's not do that. Whoa. Let's save the rest. For now. We'll save the rest for now. So we took care of a lot of logistics here. That's a whole other conversation. But it is time for me to go, I think. And it's actually a lot... it's a lot, later than I was hoping. You can make decisions regarding current events, issue decrees, a fraction of what is available, blah, 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 construct buildings and forts in Dresden. We got a lot that we're going to have to do. I'm going to save the game again. I'm going to call it here. But we are moving. And we will see where it goes next time. So, thank you everybody who stopped in for the stream tonight. I hope you all enjoyed watching me play through and getting through a lot of exposition with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Reminder, you can check out our streams on here as well as on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, Party Goblins VOD, Party Goblins TV VOD. And we also have our Discord. Come join the Discord. We have cookies. That's not true, but I will make them if I need to. Until then, though, I hope you all have a good night and enjoy your weekend.